Stalingrad news was released the other day, and I spent some time deep diving into the game files and the news release statement, and what I found was quite shocking. Hey, what's going on, scholars? It's your professor here, Enlightened Enlisted, and after losing my bet to Quadro, I indeed had to give up those 5 gifted subs on his channel. Speaking of channels, if you like watching live Enlisted content, please go give me a follow over at twitch.tv enlightened_enlisted, link in the description below. We also went live with our very own Discord where you can connect with other Enlightened members. Be sure to check that out as well, guys. It is super awesome. Alright, so the biggest thing I noticed in my research isn't flame tanks, customization, new weapons, or any of that. No, it's this thing right here. The Remote Explosive Pack, aka the C4 of Enlisted. Now, a lot of you are going to be confused by like, what's a big deal about this Enlightened? We already have Explosive Pack, and that's why this is going to be the most broken thing in the game. For starters, you can manually detonate this thing. 2, it's got the same damage profile as the Explosive Pack already, but the biggest thing has got to be that it goes into the motherfucking mine slot, not the grenade slot. So now you're going to be able to run a large grenade pouch with Explosive Packs and then have an extra room clearer. So get ready to have all your squad wiped out by even more explosions. I can see this thing being super good as well on defense. You can put it in a hidden spot around the objective, and then you go out and get a bunch of kills, and then when you hear the notification that someone's planting or they're capturing the objective, boom, bye, you've just cleared that out. If this thing sticks to vehicles, then God help you gray zone campers, because I'm going to strap one of these bad boys to a Jeep and send it flying right at you just like I'm back in Battlefield 4. Personally, I can see this being a huge problem, and I hope to God that they are looking at changing this where you can only carry either this thing or the Explosive Pack. Alright, so another big thing that we got coming up is customization, which I think is going to be an awesome addition. To be able to kit out your character to look in historically accurate items is going to be a very immersive experience for the player base. The interesting wording of adding historical drawings to equipment had me wondering, are we going to be seeing like some Kilroy drawings on weapons, pinup girls on tanks and aircraft? Well, it looks like that way to me with the decals we can see in the example from the pre-order pack. Personally, I am very excited for this, but what do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments below, and what decals would you like to see added to the game? Speaking of the pack, let's talk about what you get for $30 and if I think it's worth it or not. Well, for starters, I want to make this clear that it is free to play for everyone, meaning you will have access to Stalingrad no matter what kind of level you are as a player. So if you're free to play, premium, or you buy into this pack, you will be able to play Stalingrad. However, if you are a free to play player, I would not invest too much time into this campaign, and that's because you're going to get outclassed very quickly by the pay to play players. This is because the paid access players are going to get 4 times faster progression bonuses. It also looks like if you have the premium battle pass, you're going to get an additional bonus of that battle pass on top of this 4 times quicker progression. KO Fox said that players could be able to finish the whole campaign in a day's worth of playing time, which is crazy to think about if you are used to slugging it out for weeks on end to just finish one faction of a campaign. The release also stated that you're going to get unlocks that are only accessible to the paid access players, which to me is a concern, as I could see some of this equipment being very good, and then you're going to have a big gap between the haves and have-nots. Overall, I like the fact that quicker progression and having soldiers and weapons just a step below max once you get them is awesome for competitive gameplay, and that is something I've been pushing for with Enlisted for a long time. For me personally as a player, it is super annoying to have a skill gap just based on how long you've been playing the game and what kind of equipment you have. Overall, I see Stalingrad turning into a complete sweat fest, and I'm all for it. So while we're on the topic of sweating, let's talk about the flame tanks. Now, from what I can tell, they are only going to be accessible for those who bought the access pass to the Stalingrad campaign. I'm going to be upfront with you guys and tell you I actually hate this edition. But if you've watched any of my live streams, this doesn't come as a surprise to you because I generally hate all vehicles in this game. And now having a tank that can shoot longer and farther than a regular flamethrower is a huge turnoff. Personally, I would like to see them gone towards more like flame half-tracks or lighter vehicles, because I think that having a tank, even though it is a light tank, is going to make it super good in game. Even if these flame tanks run into regular tanks, they're still still going to be able to blind them with their flames, and that might tip the scales of balance out of whack in my opinion. It will 100% come down to how the levels are designed. If Stalingrad is anything like Berlin, then these are going to be tough to deal with in some areas and avoidable in others. Although I will be very interested to see if they add flame tanks to the other campaigns. As for the levels in Stalingrad, they have a lot of expectations to live up to because the iconic scenes in movies, books, and obviously history itself. I again am going to be upfront with you when I say that I haven't been that all impressed with the Enlisted map designs. Some levels are a joy to play and you really feel like you are there, but most of them are just pure garbage. And this is because I compare them to the other game I play, which is Hell Let Loose, and those levels feel amazing. And as I said before, I think the level design could make or break this campaign. And looking at the screenshots that they have in the release, I'm skeptical at best. The trolley cars are the exact same ones as in Berlin, and the layout of the buildings look exactly the same as well. So when people say this could be Berlin with earlier weapons, they might not be too far off. It is my hope that the developers are using the slew of information in order to make historically accurate maps. There is a ton of other stuff in this news release, and I could go on for hours about it, but for the sake of your sanity and my own, I will leave you guys with this. I am generally happy overall with the direction Enlisted is going in, and I hope that Stalingrad propels this game even further. After all, this city bears the name of the boss. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button, and as always, scholars, hit those books and hit those bottles. Cheers.
This city is not Kursk, nor is it Kiev, nor Minsk. This city is Stalingrad. Stalingrad. This city bears the name of the boss. It's more than a city, it's a symbol.